Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, Hoài brings you a new video that continues the story of Hùng and Hoài, a story that isn't loud or filled with dramatic twists, but one that slowly weaves its way into the listener's emotions through moments that feel deeply real and close to everyday life. The morning begins with Hoài familiar voice, gentle and unhurried, just as it has always been. There is no fast-paced background music, no rushed introduction, only a steady, warm voice, like a quiet greeting sent to those who open the video in the stillness of an early morning. Hoài offers a simple wish for peace, modest yet meaningful enough to make one pause, take a deep breath, and prepare to step back into the rhythm of daily life. In this small space, where the scent of old wood and early sunlight still lingers, Hoài hopes that anyone who stops by can find a bit of warmth, a moment for the heart to soften, for life's worries to gently fade, even if only for a while. Inside the old house, the atmosphere of Tet is drawing closer. No calendar is needed to mark the time, just listening to the way people talk to one another, to how familiar questions repeat day after day, is enough to feel that time is moving faster than usual. Conversations begin to circle around money, work, and growing older. The mood is not exactly heavy, but it isn't completely light either. It is a familiar feeling shared by many families standing on the edge of a coming Tet, where anticipation quietly intertwines with worries that have yet to be fully named. It is Hung's mother who opens the conversation. Her voice is calm, neither raised nor lowered, as if she has thought carefully for a long time before speaking. She expresses her wish to go out and work for a short while, simply to earn a little extra money for Tet and to pay off some remaining debts. She does not dwell on her own hardships, nor does she complain. In every word, there is only the quiet determination of someone who has long been used to carrying responsibilities on her own. Even knowing that her health is not what it used to be, even as fatigue comes more often now, she does not want to sit still or become a burden to her children and grandchildren at the end of the year. The family falls silent as they listen. No one responds right away, yet everyone carries the same worry in their hearts. Outside lies a complicated world, full of risks, especially for someone her age. Seasonal jobs at the end of the year may be easy to find, but they are often uncertain and not always as gentle as promised. Everyone understands this, and they also understand that her request does not come from impulse, but from a very real and deeply felt concern. Words of caution begin to surface, softly and without pressure. Some suggest that she should rest more, others worry about her health, and some fear that something might happen to her if she goes out to work. All of it comes from love, from a desire to protect her during a time when her strength is no longer as abundant as before. Yet the more they speak, the clearer one truth becomes. What matters most is not holding her back at all costs, but listening to her and respecting her choice. In the end, the worry does not disappear, but it settles more gently. The family simply hopes she can find a job that is truly safe and light, one that allows her to feel useful, independent, and in control of her own life. Within the old house, amid unfinished conversations about Tet, money, and aging, emotions continue to flow quietly, one into another, still open, still unresolved, as if everyone is waiting for something that lies just ahead. The conversation gradually shifts in a different direction, slow yet heavier than before. Stories about Tet, money, and work fade away, giving space to a long stretch of silence. It is within this quiet pause that old memories, once thought to be deeply buried, begin to resurface quietly. She softly mentions Hùng, the son who has not been willing to come home for a long time, who has kept a clear distance from his mother. No one asks, yet his name alone is enough to make the air inside the house feel weighted. Her voice lowers when she speaks of Hùng. It is a sorrow that is not loud, not poured out in complaints, but one that presses silently into each breath. She feels the ache of knowing that the distance between them is not accidental, nor merely the result of being busy. Even though she has changed, even though she has tried to correct her mistakes in recent years, she still does not know whether Hùng is willing to return, whether he still has enough compassion to forgive the wrongs she caused in the past. At times, her son's silence hurts more deeply than any harsh words ever could. In the small room, no one speaks. The silence is not due to a lack of things to say, but because everyone understands that some pains are not easy to touch. She looks down at her hands hardened by the years, and slowly admits the greatest mistake of her life. Her voice trembles slightly, not from weakness, but from having to face the person she once was. She says that back then, out of selfishness and prejudice, she stubbornly tried to prevent Hùng and Hoài from being together. It did not stop at words of opposition. She admits that she once did things that caused Hoài deep pain. The words she spoke, the actions she took, perhaps she forgot them in moments of anger, but for the one who endured them, those wounds never truly healed. As she recalls it now, she does not justify herself, nor does she seek excuses to lessen her fault. She only says that at the time, she was too blind to realize that she was pushing her son farther away, that she was breaking the bonds of the family with her own hands. Now, as she has grown older, as the house has become quieter than before, she finally feels the weight of the loneliness she created herself. Not the loneliness of lacking care, but the emptiness that comes when the people she loves most are no longer close, no longer sharing, no longer returning as they once did. The afternoons stretch longer, the nights grow quieter, and within that stillness, old memories return again and again, leaving her with nowhere to hide. She quietly stands up and opens an old wooden cabinet, its surface worn by time. From the deepest drawer, she takes out a small box, handling it carefully, as if afraid of breaking something fragile. Inside lies the engagement ring from years ago, the only keepsake she has kept, one that has stayed with her through countless years, silently witnessing every change within the family. The ring remains there, unchanged, like a piece of the past that has never been set down. She offers the ring to Hoài with both hands, her movements slow and hesitant. Her eyes lower, unable to look straight ahead, as if a single glance might cause her to lose her composure. She apologizes, a belated apology, without flowery words or excessive pleading, asking only to be heard. In that moment, the ring is no longer merely a symbol of an unfinished love, but a testament to her remorse, and to her quiet hope of mending the fractures that have stretched across so many years. Hoài accepts the ring in silence. She says nothing, nor does she rush to reveal her emotions in front of everyone. Her fingers slowly close, holding the ring in her palm as if it were something fragile, something that could break at any moment. Her gaze rests on the ring for only a few brief seconds, yet within that instant, countless memories quietly drift by. Hoài does not blame, nor does she bring up the wounds she once endured. She understands that some pain does not need to be spoken again, because it has already gone deep enough without words. For Hoài, forgiveness has never meant forgetting the past or pretending she was never hurt. Forgiveness, to her, is a slow and difficult choice, but a necessary one. It is the decision to close the door on pain, to stop allowing old memories to control the present and the future. She knows that scars may remain for a very long time, perhaps even for life, but they do not have to keep a person from standing up again. Simply loosening one's grip on pain is sometimes enough to move forward more lightly. The old house falls quiet after that moment. No one says anything more, and no one tries to break the silence that fills the space. Yet within that silence, each person senses that something subtle is beginning to change. It is not complete reconciliation, nor is it a fullness of joy, but a very small opening has appeared, just enough for light to slip through. The heaviness that had accumulated over many years seems to ease slightly, making room for a faint sense of relief, still too undefined to be named. Leaving the old house behind, Hoài and Hùng return to their everyday lives. Familiar routines gradually fill the spaces that have just been opened, and everything seems to settle back into normalcy. The days that follow pass without much difference, until the weather suddenly changes. Little Tony begins to fall ill, running a mild fever, growing weak, and crying more often. The small house, once quiet, becomes unexpectedly busy. Footsteps move back and forth more frequently, soft whispers of concern echo through the familiar space, mingled with a fatigue that no one tries to hide. Even so, that busyness carries with it a very clear sense of warmth. Every action, every gesture, comes from love and care for one another. No one complains, and no one grows impatient. Everyone focuses on a single thing, helping Tony recover as soon as possible. In those moments, the small house seems to draw closer, to feel warmer, even as the weather outside remains cold. Hung and Hoài take care of their child together. There is no clear division of tasks, no need for reminders. They move in quiet coordination, as if guided by a habit formed long ago. Together they cook porridge, choosing the simplest, easiest ingredients for Tony to eat. Hung goes out to buy medicine exactly as instructed by the doctor, while Hoài stays home to prepare everything else. In the small kitchen, each egg is carefully portioned, each spoonful of meat measured just right. Everything unfolds slowly and steadily, without rush or irritation. Hoài sits beside her child, patiently blowing on each spoonful of porridge to cool it before bringing it to Tony's mouth. Her eyes follow every small movement he makes, worried yet still holding on to her familiar gentleness. Whenever Tony frowns or turns away, she soothes him softly, never urging him on. Hung says little. He quietly tends to the remaining chores around the house, cleaning up, preparing warm water, checking Tony's temperature at regular intervals. These seemingly small tasks, repeated in silence, become something special. Without flowery words or promises, it is these simple moments that quietly create the feeling of a family. A family that is not perfect, not loud in its expressions, but where each person stands in their rightful place, doing what they can for one another. Even in exhaustion, there is a clear sense of connection, strong enough to make the small house feel warmer than ever. Under the soft yellow light of the kitchen, the ring Hoài received is placed back on the table. It lies there quietly, not standing out among the familiar household items, yet impossible to overlook. In this moment, the ring no longer represents only the love between two people, but also marks the quiet changes taking place. It becomes a reminder of a chance to begin again, of things not yet fully closed, still lingering in the stillness of that space, waiting to be continued. The Lunar New Year is drawing very near. There is no need to look at the calendar on the wall or count the days. Simply listening to the rhythm of life inside the house is enough to feel time quietly shifting. The mornings grow a little colder, with a gentle chill slipping through the cracks of the doors. Afternoons seem to pass more quickly, the sunlight fading earlier, leaving behind longer stretches of stillness in the small home. And in conversations that seem almost casual, the words, "New Year," begin to appear more often, naturally, like a habit, like an unspoken reminder. Though there are still many worries ahead, though concerns about money, health, and work remain unresolved, the family has begun to learn how to sit together again. Not in perfect reunions, nor in the warmth one might imagine, but in the slow, cautious presence of each person sharing the same space. Sometimes it is a simple meal eaten together, other times, it is merely being in the living room, each person occupied with their own thing, yet without the sense of distance that once lingered. Sitting together has never been easy. The past is still there, neither erased nor denied. Old memories and old wounds sometimes quietly slip into conversations, causing the atmosphere to grow heavy, forcing pauses in mid-sentence. There are moments when silence stretches longer than usual, not because there is nothing left to say, but because each person is facing their own thoughts. Yet unlike before, they no longer avoid or deny these imperfections. No one pretends that everything is fine, and no one forces a smile. They accept that these cracks still exist, as an inseparable part of this family. That acceptance does not bring immediate relief, but it opens a space wide enough for everyone to remain together, even if they are not yet completely at ease. No one demands perfection, and no one insists that everything must be better right away. Grand expectations fade, as do distant promises. Sincerity now lies not in beautiful words, but in the willingness to sit a little longer, to listen a little more, and to stay together a little while longer. That alone is enough for hope to exist, fragile, unclear, yet real. After all the changes and turbulence, what proves most precious is not how much money is earned to prepare for the new year, nor how full or simple the holiday table may be. What matters most is that they are still together, still under the same roof, sharing simple meals and quiet evenings, where each person slowly learns to understand the other more deeply. Understanding does not arrive loudly, but grows little by little, alongside a compassion that is learning to expand. No one can be certain what tomorrow will bring. The challenges ahead still remain, and difficulties do not disappear simply because of a few calm moments. Life continues with its familiar pressures and unresolved concerns. But at least, in this moment, hearts have softened. Distances are no longer as sharp, emotions no longer as tense as before. In this slowness, hope continues to exist, quiet yet enduring, like a small flame that refuses to go out. The journey of Hoài and Hùng is still unfolding. The steps ahead may not be steady, but they are no longer taken alone. Words yet unsaid, choices still unfinished, and new challenges await them. Stay tuned for the next episode as we continue to follow the love story of Hoài and Hùng, where emotions are still being written, slowly, gently, one moment at a time.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình đưa đến với mọi người video về câu chuyện của Hoài ca và cảnh sát Hùng với mọi người. Bữa nay thì mẹ Hùng đã thay đổi và bữa nay yêu thương Hoài ca và muốn gắn kết cô rất là nhiều. Vậy thì liệu Hoài ca có đồng ý hay không? Hãy cùng đón xem hết video hôm nay nhé. Tạm biệt mọi người, hẹn gặp lại mọi người ở video sau, tạm biệt.